Hi, you guys. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I wanted to come on and talk about something that we all, need all the time, and we will continuously need. And it is called deliverance. So we know that, growing up, we were exposed to a lot of things. And we know that, especially in certain communities, um, you know, emotions weren't something that we were allowed to display. As in, if we went through something or something tragic happened to us, we were to, suck it up. It happened, suck it up, move on, and find a way to deal with it. And sometimes it was, people did drugs or acted out of certain emotions because that's the way they dealt with it. But, if you were able to literally keep functioning as and keep a job, keep the course of whatever you're doing, take care of your kids, um keep a roof over your head and keep your bills paid and lights on. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what you were going through. It didn't matter how you felt. Just as long as you kept your house and everything running how it needed to run, it didn't matter what you were going through. Even if you were taking pills or doing drugs, um just to get through a day, it didn't matter. It did not matter as long as you kept it to yourself and you kept pushing and made sure everything was okay. In our community, that's what was deemed acceptable. So I wanted to say, just that having that mindset and having that upbringing, I feel like that has led a lot of people to live, a life that put them in dangerous situations or exposed to things that they didn't necessarily have to go through. But it's everyone. We didn't know any better. All we knew is what we grew up on. So we don't know what deliverance really is. We know how to suppress emotions. We know how to cover it up and keep it moving, but we didn't know how bad something was affecting us, and how much toxicness we were ingesting into our bodies, and literally how sick they were making us, mentally and physically. So half the time we don't even know what deliverance is. We're used to chaos, we're used to dysfunction. But as long as them bills is paid and them kids is all right, you making it. And growing up, we get into that cycle that you know we just go and don't talk about our emotions and our feelings, because we were taught that was for quote unquote other races. So it leaves us, why a lot of people are so angry, they're so upset, they're so bitter. So many women are independent, they're single, they're can't keep a man, or they always beating on a man, or whatever it is, because we have been brought up like that in certain communities. So I wanted to give you some indications, what exactly is deliverance, because a lot of us don't really know what it is. So deliverance is when you have been delivered from something you used to do, and it no longer has a hold on you, or something that has been affecting you that no longer does. So this goes for having a temper issue, being depressed, suicidal, addictions, fear, bad habits, and aggressive behavior. And I picked those because I feel like that's very popular within, there's a lot more, and also bad habits. I don't know if I said that, but we really struggle with that, for us to know if we're really delivered from something, because we've suppressed it. So we don't know how to not do something. We just know what to do to get us by. So to know that you're delivered from something, is to, I always use smoking because that's very common. If you're smoking cigarettes or you smoking weed, it don't matter. Just say if you're smoking, say, you say you smoke because that's your way of getting by. But say, you keep saying, I'm not, what is it? I'm not addicted to, cigarettes or weed or even sometimes street drugs. I'm not addicted to it. I can stop it at any time. But the next time a stressful situation presents itself, are you able to turn down this drug without feeling like you're going to not make it? And feeling like, you're not going to make it. Pretty much having a panic or anxiety attack or sitting there scratching and itching like, listen, I need to smoke. Like, are you able to turn down whatever it is that has been sustaining you? And if you can't, if you can't even wake up in the morning and you can't function without smoking or taking certain pills, that means you have become reliant on something that, may or may not be harming you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and breaking down your body. If you are going through something like that, and you want deliverance from it, and it's not good for you, we know that it says in Matthew 17:21, but this kind does not go out except by prayer and by fasting. So some things we have to pray and to fast to get out. But going back to what I said before, that would be an indication to let you know that you're not delivered from something if you need it every waking moment. And every time, your nerves get rattled, or every time you get thirsty, you want to drink a beer or you want to drink a 40, that's an indication that lets you know you are dependent on something. If you can't go without it and it alters your mindset and what you're able to do, that means you're addicted to something and you need deliverance from it. And we're not going to have deliverance overnight from everything. It takes time, it takes a process, things of that nature. But if you really want deliverance and how to identify what true deliverance is, again, I'm going to read it. It is when you have been delivered from something you used to do and it no longer has a hold on you, something that has been affecting you and no longer does. So I use the example of smoking so that you can get an understanding, if you're able to go around and do something that you used to do that is not affecting you now, you know that you're delivered from it. You can be where that is and not be affected. So, you can do whatever you need to do and whatever you're doing. So with that being said, again, search yourself and search your life, consistently and daily to get an idea. And sometimes we don't know what we need deliverance from, how silly it may sound. Some people can have, problems with their mouth. They just talk too much, or they just say whatever on their mind, or, they a real person, but they just say anything that's on their mind, whether it hurts people's feelings or not. Sometimes people have to be put in situations and certain arguments or, whatever, so that, whatever it is that they need deliverance from or what they need to work on, it presents itself. So say if you're in an argument and, you get in an argument with somebody and you get so upset, you know what I mean? And you start punching the wall, or, you want to fight the person, or you just wind up slapping them. That lets you know right there. Next time, you may want to cut the argument short, but that lets you know, this is something you need to work on within inside yourself. So just because the situation presents itself, sometimes we deem it as normal, but a lot of things aren't normal. If it's affecting your health and if it's affecting someone else, it's not normal, in a bad way. So when the situations come up, that lets you know this is something I need to work on. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's been a lot of things we've been taught that sometimes we don't even know what's wrong. It's just, that's how we live. But if it presents itself, it's good because it lets you know this is what I need to work on. And it gives you time to work on it the way you need to work on it and the way God wants you and needs you to work on it. God may send certain people in your life to test your patience because, you're very impatient or you do have an anger issue, but God's, he's probably sending people and things to test you, to give you, more patience and to get out that anger. It may arise, but, God has to, so when you're getting delivered from anger or anything, God has to bring it up so you see it, and then he has to bring it up to get it out. So just because it's coming up, more than likely that means it's getting out. You need to get it out of you, and to figure out why you're so angry, you're so bitter, or you confused, or why you're addicted to certain things, or why are you suicidal, anxious, why do you always like to gossip, why are you always doing these bad habits, why are you talking the way you do, or dealing with folks, or dealing with certain folks, and why do you do these things? It will be revealed to you so that you will be able to understand where the root problem is and learn that that's just not the way that you operate to get by, so God can give you deliverance. And then also too, I've already said it, some things in Matthew 7:21, but these kind do not go out except by prayer and fasting. And sometimes with these type of things, we have to fast and we have to pray. So it could be a Daniel fast, a water fast, a juice fast, no liquid fast, social media fast, whatever God will lead you to do. He will let you know what type of fast you can do and what kind of fast that he wants you to do. And mind you, just because you're fasting and you don't do it right the first time, it's okay. As long as you're really trying, you take one step, God's going to take two, and that's all you need. If you fail, you get up, you try again, you keep pushing. That's all you need. That's all God needs for you to do, for him to be able to help you. He needs you to open his heart, and he needs room. He needs to know that you have room in your heart from him. So if you're saying, God help me, but you got all this old baggage from, childhood things, old relationships, old friends, and this and that, you're trying to keep in your heart and say, oh, I know I want to keep them. I want to keep them safe. They're my friends. And, they've helped me through so many hard times. And just because somebody has helped you or something has helped you, it does not mean it was healthy for you. It may have worked in that time, but that does not mean that it was right. It may have been right at that time, yes, and you learned from it, but that does not mean it was right from you. God has grace on a lot of us, and a lot of situations we have been in. Some of us would have been dead in the streets. We don't know where we would have been. But God has had grace on us because we've been doing things sometimes that we know, but sometimes we don't fully understand what we're doing because it's been something that we have been taught to do. So just take it one day at a time. When the situation or the issue presents itself, it's good because it allows you to see, this is what I need work on. And or if someone's always telling you something about you, if it's more than one person, sit back and look like, why do people keep saying that to me, but you don't see it? So if someone keeps saying something to you, at least if 3 people are saying the same thing to you, go back and look and say, when they say this, what am I doing? Or what leads up to this conversation, or what is happening? So that you can get an understanding or an idea of what they're talking about. And if you still can't see it, ask God to reveal to you, what are they talking about, and how am I being this way that they're saying, or how am I affecting their life that they have to tell me that I'm doing something wrong or the way I'm operating is bad. And if you don't know, just say, God, I don't understand if this is wrong, show me the right way. Show me the correct way to do something. Show me, give me understanding, give me wisdom, so that you may get deliverance, so that God can show you, you can see it, you can understand it, and you're not just walking around blindly. But you're not going to go, things are going to take time. You just one thing at a time, just keep staying positive, keep pushing, keep praying, keep, eliminating the toxic things out of your life. And how people want to get healthy, sometimes it mentally, yes, it takes mentally to do it. And then people go to what they're eating. Yes. And it also goes to who you're hanging around with, who you're communicating with, who are you letting into your life. So, deliverance is really like, I wouldn't say a diet, but you have, on a diet I want to use, you have to cut out certain things to get to where you want to be. But this is like a lifelong diet, I would say. You're going to have to limit and eliminate certain things, people, person, places, and things, because to keep your deliverance, you can't operate how you used to. And certain people and certain things and certain relationships you cannot have because it's not good for you. Just like a person on drugs, there's certain relationships that they can't have, or certain things they can't have, or certain type of medications that they can't have. It will cause them to relapse. So that's the same thing when you get deliverance. There's certain things you can't entertain. So you always going to have to put up, boundaries with everything. And it's not, some people feel like, if they're doing it, why can't I do it? And this and that, we're all different. We are all unique, and they don't need what you need, and vice versa. So you have to keep that in mind every time you keep looking at someone else's life and wondering why, well, they get to do this and they get to do that, and this is not fair and that's not fair. And because you're different, you're not like them. They can probably be around somebody that, was doing something that they have been, struggling with it and not affect them in that way. But you're different, and you go around it and it could just suck you right in. Different people. Different issues, different backgrounds, different, is rooted in different things. It's a number of things, but you can't take your life and compare it to anyone else's. And just because you feel like somebody's doing better than you on the outside, doesn't necessarily match the inside, because it could be the total opposite. So with that being said, I love you guys. Please check your live. If you need deliverance, God, go to God, ask him, what do I need to do? What do you need to do? Some deliverance is just you cutting ties with certain things, person, places, things, people, all that good stuff. And some things you're going to have to literally fast it out. And yeah, that's it. That's it. So I love you guys. Continue to keep working on yourself, continue to stay positive, keep continuing to stay grounded, fill yourself with positive energy, to get clean, from all the old things. You have to keep pumping yourself with good, and positive things. And it's just like with food, you want to get healthier, start eating better. It's the same thing for your mind. Start eating better. Stop watching all these things that pop up on your feed, and just because you want to watch it because you want to know what's going on. Not everything you see and do is good. Not every relationship you have because they're friends is good. So that being said, I love you guys. Have a good morning, night, afternoon, evening. Stay blessed.